Today, we're going to be going over how to create a tornado in Minecraft Bedrock Edition that will chase you. So to start off with, we're going to get a armor stand, and we're just going to name it A. Here's what it looks like in a full rotation if we add in all of our effects. As you can see, that's the section file of it. And the final one is this chase value. As you can see, it's starting to move towards us slowly. Let's turn off the section for a second. And let's turn off the chase, and I'll just stay in place. Also turn it invisible so we just have this. Here's quickly all the commands I'm going to do. I'm going to go in individually each one and just type out, show you what each thing means. But if you want to just copy the commands, here they are. Just pause the video at needed time. Alright, let's get on how to build one of these. Start off with, let's get ourselves a repeating command block. Unconditional, it needs redstone, no delay in ticks. This will just be our execute at entity. We're going to name our armor stand T for tornado. 3 tildes are executing at our entity. This just means like right at where it's standing. So it's executing at right where the base is on that block. So we're executing it right there. We are going to have it rotate, so we're going to TP at entity. Name is equal to T, so we're going to be TPing this. We're going to TP the armor stand, our armor stand T. And we're just going to have it TP facing a negative quarter of a block or to the side. So TPing it a little bit, so if we have this one block, we're just teleporting it a little bit each over as it's constantly spinning around. That helps it make sense. So this thing right here, it just means where it's facing. So the direction it's facing is the X value, which is off to the side by negative 0.25. And then this right here is sort of like the directional, or this is like the speed of it. So the higher the value is, the faster it's going to spin around. So to see it, it's spinning pretty fast. The 0.25, if we were to increase that, it'd give us a bigger rotational circle it's creating. Next up, we have our particles. So we're just going to stack them 4 blocks like so. Turn the first one to a repeat unconditional needs redstone. We're just going to execute at our armor stand. And then we're going to do our particle command. So particle Minecraft propulsion explosion emitter. You need to have where the particles coordinates will be, so this is where it's going to emit. That's basically just going to set the particle so it's always at the base of the feet. Next up, we need the next layer of our tornado, so we're going to set this to a chain. Always active, unconditional. We're just going to execute at the armor stand once more. Enter in our particle command. This time we're going to use our arrows so that it's executing at the facing of the direction. So it's going to be at next height. Wait, it should be 1, not 2. So it's going to be executing right now at the top half of it, 1 block forward. So if we test, you can see our first one's right there and our second one's right there. It's a little bit out. You can see it more when it spins around. Let me turn this invisible. You can see the particles are just a little, it's spiraling down is all it's doing. Alright, let's get rid of the weather. Also, one thing you're going to want is you're going to want these settings. Command block output to be false. Make sure you update that. Otherwise, your chat's going to get spammed with the armor stand constantly teleporting. Let's continue with our next particle. It'll be again chain unconditional, always active. Execute at entity name is equal to T. Particle Minecraft cauldron explosion emitter. And this one will just be up 2 and then over facing the 2 blocks. And our third one is going to be the exact same thing, but just replace the 2's with the 3. So once we get this in, we can move on to the suction power. Don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Let's just go ahead and test, make sure all of these work. So I'm just going to go ahead and do entity and is equal to T. And then this final one. Still not sure which one. Now you can see that all of the particles have been set up. Next up will be our suction power, so I need 3 command blocks. Our first one's going to be a repeat unconditional. I need redstone delay and ticks. I'm going to add 20, so it only activates once every second, just to decrease the lag possibilities of it. So we're going to execute at the armor stand once again. And we're just going to teleport at any entity that's not itself in the range of 10. to it. You can change the range or radius to whatever you want. This will be the suction radius. So if any entity, mob, or player gets within 10 blocks, they will be sucked into it and thrown up in the air. Suppose my teleport this right to it. Next up, we want to have a chain always active. We want to execute at our armor stand once more. This time we're going to test for that entity name does not equal T, and the radius, what do we want to make it, 5. So once they're teleported, they'll be inside the radius of 5, so we'll be testing for that and see if you can make this the same as 10. It's just smaller is more likely to get the initial teleportation command out first. And our final one here will be a chain conditional always active. This will be execute at our armor stand. We're going to affect every entity in the range of 7 with levitation. So in a radius of 7, they're all going to receive levitation for 3 seconds with a power of 31 trill. Because effects are in a 0 scale, 0 is equal to levitation. Let's spell levitation. So that is our suction power. Next up we have the chase command. This will again be executing at the armor stand. We're going to be teleporting itself facing or off to the left side because it's rotating negatively. So we'll take the entity names with T. So it's just off right. If we want to move the speed of it, we can change this number to 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, and that'll increase the speed at which the tornado chases you down. And we want it to be facing P. So facing at P, so this way it will chase the nearest player. And this will be a repeat delay of 20, so it only happens every second. So if we get it rotating, we have our particles up, suction power's on. If they get too close, throws me up. Let's drop on down, and now let's have it chase us. As you can see, I'm outside of its range, but it's going to slowly move towards me. Doesn't matter which way I go, it'll come towards me. One's kind of slow. Let's see if we can avoid it. I'm going to chase out for a second. Increase the speed. Increase it to 4. As you can see, that's really starting to come up now. And just like that. It's quite fast at 4. I'm going to try to juke it out again to go turn that off. If you want to turn it invisible, all you need to do is increase this command, or just you can change the duration to a much longer time. This is just so I can easily turn it on and off. So it's just a fact at entity type is equal to armor stand, or you can even change just name is equal to T, or whatever you name it. Invisibility for 99, you only need 0 because it's invisibility 1. It doesn't really matter what level, but so I just put 0. And then true, so you don't see any particles of it. That is today's how to create a tornado. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Have a good day.